Today is April 3rd, 2025, and this is my trade analysis and a little bit of commentary. I'm going to talk about gaps. I'm going to talk about progress that I'm seeing within the group. It's amazing. I'm going to start off with that. When I first laid out the ground rules for this challenge, I let everyone know that this is a team effort and we're here to help each other. It's more about helping each other than making any money. There are a lot of new members in this group who are still trying to learn how to identify setups, and I think everybody struggles with entries. The contributions that I have been seeing are amazing. It shows how much progress you guys have made. Your chart reading skills are so amazing to me at this point. But what I saw yesterday after hours blew my socks off. I saw a couple of group members helping each other out. And I just was watching it. I didn't want to jump in and say anything because I wanted to see the level of collaboration that exists already within this group. One member was saying, well, I think it's going to do this or break out or whatever. The other member chimed in and said, well, be sure and look to the left. This is what I see on volume. This is what I see on levels, what I see on resistance. It's doing this and it's going to reverse. And boom, she was so spot on with that. She prevented that other trader from getting in a bad trade by her observation and understanding exactly what to look for. And I'm so impressed by that. And that is the goal of this whole entire challenge, is to be able to help one another, read the charts, and see what we need to see. When I laid out the ground rules for this challenge, that was the number one thing: helping each other, contributing to the group. Tell us what you see, even before you're in a trade. Is it setting up? And I'm seeing so many group members actually doing that. And I'm so excited to be able to see that with you guys. You're identifying setups ahead of time. You're identifying reversals before they happen. And you're helping each other read the charts that way. So I feel like this, so far, we're only 4 days into this challenge. And usually these challenges last at least 2 weeks, maybe a month. We'll see how it goes. But this challenge has nothing to do with me. I post my trade analysis because, you got to see something, right? So I'm posting my trade analysis on my trades. But the biggest part of this challenge is watching you guys helping each other, starting to be able to understand how to read a chart and how to be able to put that in words, what you're seeing in words, and share that so that it's helping others to get into trades at the correct support level and understand, is trend going to continue past this next level, or are we done? Do we need to take profits here? That's what I'm seeing group members do. And so I'm going to remind you guys, continue to contribute. Limit your commentary on the group to just simply helping others see what we need to see before it happens. It's all about the before. Nobody wants to know if you're already in a trade unless you've told us in advance what you are looking for. And if that trade actually set up and you executed it exactly as you predicted you were going to. We're helping each other. So limit your comments and your posts in the members chat to that very thing. Do some research, do some effort. Don't just be at the concession stand. Be a team member and contribute. Get out on the field and start moving the ball down the field towards the touchdown for everyone. Okay, this is a team effort. I don't want anybody hanging out at the concession stand eating the nachos. You can eat the nachos after you've got the team to the goal. Okay, let's shift gears and we'll talk about ICCT, because we talked a little bit about gaps. We had this previous candle on ICCT a couple of days ago where it had made this high of $5.40. If you haven't noticed, we had a breakout that day and price held above the 50. It's still below the daily 200 and it'll probably try to hit that at some point, but we had a gap fill. When it broke above that $3.33 critical level that I mentioned to you guys the other day, it wanted to run and at least fill this $5.40 level. That's a gap fill. It's a liquidity gap. And liquidity gaps are the only gaps that I care about. There are other traders that explain gaps in a completely different way, and that's because there's a different kind of gap which you almost never see. And so if you're looking for that, you're just not going to see it. And a lot of times price won't even fill those. But the type of gap that I focus on are liquidity gaps where price has made a high, then sold down to a level, and then price is going to want to fill that high again. You see it on minute charts, you see it on daily charts. So gap number one is to this $5.40, which was the previous high. If price continues and proves this as a support level, it's going to want to try to hit this yellow line. And that was the 680 level, okay? That's this other one here. So that's a liquidity gap. Let's go to the trade that I took. Okay, we'll go to the daily chart since we're talking about daily charts. And I really want you guys to put some effort into understanding the daily chart, getting in the habit of checking the daily chart to see what we're looking for. If a stock is hitting the scanner, go to the daily chart and see, well, has it already made the move? Or is there still room to a target on the daily? In this case, price had reached an all-time low of 50 cents a few days ago. And then we had price break above this 82-cent line right here, which was above the 9 EMA on the daily chart. We're still below the 34 and the 50 and the 200 on the daily, but this is a little bit of a gap fill. Okay, it's going to give you a little bit of an opportunity to trade this. And since this is such a cheap stock, you can really leverage a lot of shares and make some money on it. And so that was my objective for this one. And I had this heavier line. Do you see how I found that? It was the tail of this candle. I drew this dashed line right here, this kind of orange dash line at the top of that candle here as a potential gap fill. I wasn't really confident in it, but I was very confident in this level right here, this $1.40. The other one represents $1.46. And so do you see this big empty space where there's no price action right above here? That's a breakout of $1 to $1.40. That's a clear breakout. We did have this $1.30 top of the candle, so we were watching that. You could have technically got out at $1.46 as your target. But let's look at the minute chart. So my entry was right after I posted it in Discord. I got in at 86 cents at 6:48 a.m. my time. We had these other levels we were watching. I had this was my stop. As long as I'm profitable until I reach this level, then I'd move my stop loss to this line, right? But as long as I'm profitable, I stay with the trade. We had this high over here that I felt pretty confident that that was going to be my initial target. My stop loss was 83 cents. My entry was 86. I only needed to make 9 cents to get a reward that's 3 times my risk. And so that was really easy. That was a no-brainer. Price hit this high, this previous high, which was also a Discord level. Now my stop loss is this level. I'm profitable. As long as price holds this level, I stay with the trade. Reach this target. My stop loss is this 97-cent level, right? Because it's the one just below the target. It held that. There were no candle bodies closing below. We had a couple of tails poking below it, but no candle bodies, and that's my rule. That's my rule. I stay in a trade as long as price holds the stop loss. This was a little stressful because I knew we were dealing with this over here, this resistance, but it held my stop, and then it pushed. It pushed hard and fast. We had a halt on this candle. This halt was what prompted me to plan my exit on the next candle. Since it struggled so much here, I didn't have a lot of confidence. Plus I knew this level was here, this 140. And so I planned my exit. I was able to get out right at $1.40. It did hit this $1.46 target. And that's how I traded NIVF. And that's a little bit on gaps. So that's all I wanted to cover for you in this video. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions at all, let me know and we'll talk soon.